I started and stopped this like 6 or 7 times because I wrote down all these notes in a Google Doc, and then I needed to stick to the plan. And when I wasn't sticking to the plan, because I wasn't present anymore, I was looking at my notes. I went frick it because I hate feeling like I'm following a plan. So we're dispensing with the script. I'm starting from the beginning, and hopefully this last time I recorded. Because the very nature of these recordings is that it's not supposed to be curated and perfect. In fact, the entire point of our show is that perfect is a totally abstract concept or idea, and I'm not, and I don't want you to be. And what was I talking about? Oh, yes. I just started social work school, and it's been very inspiring because social work like aligns with everything I've been taught. Which is that like people are of inherent worth, and like like people deserve respect, and people should like be given the tools to help themselves. People shouldn't just be like helped, the teach a fisherman how to fish thing, as opposed to just putting band-aid solutions on things and sending them on their way. It's basically just like creating a more fair and equal world, which I'm pretty on board for, because I feel like everyone will benefit. And that part has been very exciting. But then that's how they get you, because they start talking about how to like make change on a bigger scale, because you want to like figure out how to address problems at the source. And when I went down that road, because I have an entire class based on social policy and like advocating and researching and fighting for policy. And then I got really depressed because I woke up one morning and heard about the abortion bill, and then I thought about Bernie Sanders, and it's hard when you think about somebody or people, because there are people all the time, like from the outside, it feels like they are doing everything in their power every day of their lives to get results done. And yet, again, from the outside, it seems like the message we receive is that it's pointless. It doesn't get anything done. And I don't want to be the kind of person that's like, forget it, I'm not trying. It just seems really lame. Because it like guarantees a lame result. And I think to a greater extent, like that's cynicism. And I think a lot of the reasons why I don't like be who I am is a result of cynicism. I feel like I've spent my entire life like watching how I express myself, watching the words I say, like walking in eggshells around people, because of like I want to explore and play and have fun. And people who are grumpy, the fear is like, to them exploring and playing is like a luxury. And I hate walking on eggshells. So what I have done almost my entire adult life, or 28 years, is like not feel comfortable just being who I am. And I think, connect to the social work stuff. We talk about how people naturally are influenced and reflected by the systems they are in. And I've been thinking a lot about the fact that like in the textbooks and traditionally, all these systems that we talk about are like readily observable. Like we have schools, or we have our family systems, or we have like community things like church or like friend groups or whatever. And we have macro systems like the government. But what I think is like an interesting take in the contemporary 21st century is like, we're all sort of part of a system like relative to each of us. Like we all have perceptions of reality informed by social media, and that is like much harder to observe. I feel like my perception that other people have perceptions that the world is a shit place is because of social media. And I feel like a lot of my depressive feelings, or like feelings that like, I can't play, other people are having a bad time, are also informed by my relationship to social media. That's also called constructionist theory, is the idea that like our behavior is influenced by other people's behavior, or like our perception of reality is also informed by other people's perception, or our perception of how other people are perceiving reality. And like cynicism's really easy. I also totally get it. Like I feel like it's a natural response to being like slapped in the face so many times. It's eventually like, forget it. Nothing good could ever happen. I'm just not gonna try. And then you know what? I don't even care, dude. I'm too cool to care. Fart jokes, you know, like it makes cynicism makes a lot of sense to me. But I also think it's like killing us very slowly. And I know it did kill the joy in me this week about the idea of like reading the text back. Ooh, like here's how to like get people together, and here's how to like, potentially make meaningful change in a community. Here's how to like make long-lasting progress over time. And then I was on Twitter for like literally 5 minutes. I was like, you know what? Forget all of it. Forget caring. Forget this entire program I've decided to get into. Which is, I'm not about that. I'm definitely still on the give a shit, and I'm gonna like share with you why, or how. Let me think back to like, oh yeah, I went on a bike ride today with my friend JD. Important point is that he asked me to ride bike. Now, I don't ride bikes a lot. I get winded easily, very out of shape. But, as I get tired, there's this propensity in me to like look down. I did it in cross country in high school too. But you like look down because I don't know, maybe because of the head energy or something. But, and looking down is not even helpful. You gotta have your head up to breathe. And having him, JD, like wait for me a little bit down the road, like that energy helped me lift my head up. You feel awful, but that's like also a good feeling. And then there's this feeling of determinism, like, oh yeah, I can actually do this. Or you know what, I'm just doing my best. And all of those things, way better than thinking your shit and keeping your head down. And like you need to keep your head up in like anything that requires coordination. You need to look where you're going and driving, skateboarding, walking, you name it. And I think when I get insecure or when I get uncertain, I tend to avoid looking at people in their eye. And I think, it's because I fear like showing my fear could make somebody else, feel insecure or distressed or sad or something, that I wouldn't want a person to feel. And so if I just, hide my eyes or don't face that person. But what I think doing that does is it like denies the other person an opportunity to feel less lonely themselves by seeing it like exist within another person. I feel like cynicism just like washes away a lot of what being alive is, which is scary shit. Cynicism is like a guarantee that things are just mediocre shit. And I want more. I'm greedy. I want more than that. And a lot of my loneliness has been, a desire to not look up. I think like a loneliness is like a condition created by just spending a lot of our lives like looking down, minding our business, staying out of the way, not making noise so as not to have any effect on anyone because life is scary enough as it is. But it's not working. I think we got to try something different. I had other notes here. Actually, there was something like I thought, give yourself the opportunity to face give someone the opportunity to see you, give another person the gift of knowing that they are not in this alone, that they are not the only ones feeling lonely. Yeah, a lot of our cynicism is steeped in a lack of faith or security in the powers that be. But I think, yeah, this is my point. I think there's a lot of power to be found within us, and we need to build up trust within ourselves and each other. Because when I feel like you watching this actually give a shit about what I say, oh hey, I dream, I have ideas about what else could I do, and then we need something in that magical vein to happen enough times so that we basically need a miracle, right? So that starts with, you can't make a miracle if you just assume that nothing good can ever happen. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for hearing and seeing me. And I hope that this message has made you feel less lonely in some way. If it has, please pass forward. Or consider answering our show's question for next week on loneliness. Seriously though, I would love if you, the viewer, if you've managed to make this to the end of this, could share what loneliness means to you. Whether it be something you're currently going through or a time in your life that you have grown from. If you're willing to share, either DM our Instagram account, Applause Gremlins at Instagram.com, I don't know what it's called, or our Gmail, applausegremlins at gmail.com, or DM us on Twitter. We're gonna there's gonna be, Kelsey's gonna help me put this in other forms, but I think that's all I want to say. Short version. Feel sad, depressed, I don't want to talk to anyone, I don't want to do the show, I don't want to wake up in the morning, I'm depressed, I hate everything sucks. Versus, I don't have the answers necessarily, but I do know that more good comes from sharing and seeing and having my eyes on the horizon than avoiding everything entirely my whole life, which to an extent is something that I feel like my deceased father did. So don't recommend that. That's a guaranteed way to not have a good time. Okay, I'm done for now. I love you very much. Talk to you soon.